Paul, what was the name of the pirate? Eric. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. In this episode, we are going to continue building our VPC by allowing our public subnet to access our private subnet. This will all take place by building another security group with rules that lets the public subnet access the private subnet. Remember, in building a web server, we want the web server to access the database for data to include on its web pages. So the public subnet talking to the private is totally normal and necessary. So let's go to AWS Management Console and open up the EC2 service and show you how this is done. Before we start, however, it will be important for me to go to the drawing board. Hello. Okay, so far what we have in our VPC, okay, is a VPC that has an IP address of 10.0.0.0/16. That gives us like 65,000 IPs. But we are just dealing with these two subnets, and this is my subnet, and it is public, and it is at 10.0.1.0.24. Okay, that would be an important number to remember. Okay, and this subnet, okay, is 10.0.2.0.24. So remember that, because as we refer to them, I want you to understand which one is which. Okay, so there is a security group already in this one. Okay, and I think we call this security group Web DMZ. There's a security group in here, and this is just our default. Okay. Now, we're going to have to change that. There's an EC2 instance in here, all right, and there's an EC2 instance in here. So I'll say EC2, and this is an EC2. This one is going to be called web server. I think I called it 1. And then this one is going to have a EC2 instance called MyDB server. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now here's the deal. This is a web server, and it serves up pages to the internet, okay? Web pages to the internet. Okay, so it has to be public and it has to be open, and we did that in the last video. Okay, but here's the thing. Websites, usually dynamic websites, ones that actually are changed often, usually have a back end. And someone can log into the back end, add data to the database, and then that gets, I guess I could draw a little gear shaft here. Okay, I'm having trouble with my gear shaft. Okay, so they open up a back end and it adds data to this database. This web server, which is serving files, reads this database first, recompiles the web page, and then sends it out to the public. This all happens behind the scene in what they call a back end. It happens back here and no one sees it, but it's very normal for this subnet to get into this subnet to get information from the database. Does that make sense? Okay, so some back workings of your web server, and that's why this is so exciting. You're actually going to create a website that has a dynamic back end inside its own VPC or inside its own web server. It's just fabulous. This is a fabulous AWS project, all right, that we can bring to the class. Okay, so the first thing to allow this connection to happen is we got to create a new security group that allows it to happen. So we're actually going to take this default security group out of here. All right, and we're going to make a new one. We'll put this will still be here. We're not going to erase it, so it'll be out here. Let's just put it out here. And then we're going to create this new one, and I think we call it my DBSG for my DB security group. Okay, there it is. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get to it. All right. How you doing, Paul? You're still amazed by that joke, huh? Let's be cool. Wasn't very good, I know. I'm sorry. Running out of things to say, brother. We got to have some more talks. Usually we talk about music and stuff, but let's just talk about web servers right now. All right. So let's see. So I was good enough to have that web server open already, or the AWS Management Console already, and I'm logged into EC2. Okay, so this is the EC2 service. All right, so you can see here we have running web server 01 and my DB server. Okay, so those are the two EC2 instances. All right, and so let's go ahead and show you that the web server has a public IP address of this, and I'm going to copy that because we're going to use it soon. All right, and then if I click on the other one, it does not have a public, but there is a private one, okay? And yeah, so we're gonna try to get into that. Now remember, this is 10.0.2, okay? And that's important to remember as we go along here, okay? All right, so that has no public access, but web server 01 does, okay? And they can't talk to each other because they have two different security groups, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is make that first security group. And down here, you'll see it says security groups. Hopefully this isn't, there it is right there. Okay. I feel like I'm like in the way. Let's make sure I set this up so you guys can see everything before I get going here. Okay. Something like that looks a little bit better. And then I'm trying to play with this security group right here. All right. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to allow me to make a new security. You see I have my web DMZ here. All right. And then my default. Okay. Exactly what I had on the board. And then we're going to go ahead and go actions and no, not actions. Sorry. We're going to hit create security group. Okay. Big orange letter. Don't miss it. All right. And so let's call this security group my DBSG, like I wrote up on the board. Okay, my DBSG. All right, and then the VPC I'm going to use is right here. And let's make sure that I add some rules to it. Okay, so there's going to be some rules. And the rules are for that public address to get in there. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here we're going to click on add a rule. All right. And the very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to allow it to ping it. Ping means can I ping all of its routers to see if it's responding. And so that's what this is. And then we will go and put in the address, which is 10.0.1.0 /24. Okay, so there it is. So we're basically saying, hey, if a security group comes in with this number, allow them to ping me. But I want some other things too. So let's add some more. So we want it to come in through HTTP. Okay. And I should have copied this because we're going to just keep doing it over and over. Let's see if it put it. It put this one. So let's go 10.0.1.0 /24, and let's copy before I add it. Okay, There we go. And then let's add a rule for HTTPS. Okay, we'll paste that in there. And then let's go ahead and add a rule. Remember I said this is going to be a MySQL, and it might have to go, MySQL needs more access to deliver data. So we're going to add a rule for MySQL. Okay, let's see if I could find it here. There it is, MySQL. All right, and I feel like there's one, oh, the most important one, SSH. All right, so add one more, and there is SSH. So we'll allow people to SSH it. All right, so there you go. It's going to allow this security group to SSH it. All right, so 5 things, and I know I'm in the way here. So it is going to be ICMP to ping, HTTP and HTTPS, MySQL and SSH, all allowed from the source, which is 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, so far so good. I like that. And so now we have to go back to, actually I have to hit create security group. Relax, I wasn't that close. It's just sometimes you're in the way, buddy. Okay. All right, so now let's go back to my dashboard, and I'm going to go into my running instances, and you're going to see now that I have my DB server here, but the security group is still the default. So we want to basically take it and change its networking to not the default. See, there it is, but we want to actually have it go to my DBSG. Okay, so my own security group, and that's now in there. All right, that looks pretty good. And now, once again, I want to make sure I have that public one copy because I'm going to go into it, but I'll have to come back and get this private one also. All right, and that depends on if I'm already in it, because I did leave it open right here. But I stayed back because people are still new to this, and I want to walk yourself all the way through the terminal. They're very new to it. All right, so I first have to remember I have a private key that I created in the last video, and I have to use that to get in. All right, so basically this is like a shaking of the hands. Like if you're going to get into this secure or this web DMG or this security group, you got to have the secret password. And so if I show them this this private key, it's like having the secret password to get in. So that private key is in downloads. All right, and then I will now try to get into that. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to give myself more access to that file by going chmod 400. This is a permission thing. And so I'm going to say my new kp.pem. All right, so that gives me more access to it. And then I'm now going to SSH into that original public security group. All right, so I'm going to go SSH, and I am going to go EC2 user at the public address, and that is not it. So I thought I might have cleared that out. All right, so let's actually go back and find the address. So if I click here, the address should be down here somewhere. There it is. All right, see that right there? So I'm going to copy that, go back over here and paste it in there. And then I have to use my my public key to say, hey, I'm good. I can get in. So it's going to be my new key pair.pem, and that should let me in. And it does. Let me clear this so you guys can see that I'm in here. So there it is. And I think the interesting part to remember, it says 10.0.182. So that's that first subgroup. Okay. And the other one, when we get in, we'll say 10.0.2 dash whatever the IP address is. Okay. Now we want to now get into that other one. but we're going to have that private key to get in. So we're going to knock on the door and they say, what's the key? Well, we don't have it in this file because if I hit ls, you see there's nothing in there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually get that private key and copy and paste it in here. And this is how we're going to, this is not usually how you do it, but just for this example, this is how we're going to do it. There'll be a more secure way in the future. But let's go into this and go new, and let's go into the downloads. And there is my KeyPem. So let's open with a text editor. So I'll just go in here and I'll just say text edit. Oops. Okay, this is the program I want to use. Open. And that's what it looks like. Look at all that. It's crazy, right? So I will select all and copy it. Then I could close it. And now we can create a file in the Unix system by going nano and then the name of it. So my new kp.pem. And then it'll let you open it. There's nothing in there. So this is a file called my new kp. You can see up at the top there. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there. There's the key. So in order to save it, really easy to do. All you do is look down here and you can see which one it is. It's actually Control X. Okay, and then hit yes, and then hit return, and then you're back. Okay, now if I go ls, well, you'll see it's in there, but we need to have access permissions to it also. So I better go chmod 400, my new kp.pem. All right, and so now I have more access to it. So it's in there. Now let's see if we could actually ping my private security group, okay, which is my DBSG, right? So let's go ahead and give it a shot. All right, so I am going to ping, and remember the address of it? I don't, so let's go find it. All right, and so I'll click on it, and then it was down here somewhere. There it is. All right, and so I'll copy that, and I will paste that in here and hit return. And there it is. It's getting pinged because we allowed the public subnet to ping it, and it's getting pinged. See, it's pinging it every second, not every second, every millisecond, 0.692 of a millisecond. And that's beautiful, right? So our public is now talking to our private. Now to stop that, I'll go Command C or Control C. Let me clear this so you guys can see this. All right, and let's actually go into it. All right, so I will go. Well, let's see if I can still have this. No, yeah, I think I do. I did want to type the whole thing again, but it looks like I'm going to have to. All right, so SSH EC2-user. This is right onto Amazon's servers here. Okay, and I could paste in that one. Is it still there? Yes, it is still there. And then I got to go -I, and then my new key pair. My new key, oops, kp dot kp.pem. All right, and that should allow us to get in there. Yes. And there we are. We're now in there. Now here's the part I said that was interesting, right? 10.0.2, so we're actually in the private one now. All right, and then if I wanted to be, if I wanted to have higher privileges, I could go sudo su, and what this will allow me to do is maybe to see if I can go on the internet and update my software. To do that, I could go something like this. I think it's a yum command, yum update. So I'm going to go yum update -y. This will go onto the internet and update my private server, or will it? Actually, no, it won't, because it's private and still has not allowed people on the internet to come in yet. So this will fail miserably, and that will lead us into our video for the next time about NAT gateways. Okay, so that'll do it for this time. For this episode. Hope that you enjoy it. Remember, always trying to make you great and help you innovate. So until next time, what, Paul? What? Yeah, yes. And if they have questions, they can comment below or go to the website at www.themightycodecoder.com or find me on Twitter at mightycodecoder. Thanks for watching.